Everybody else, I've been out of the salon because I have been under the weather. But I was thinking about, that we've been in business for over 3 years. So this video is not so much for my clients, but it is for someone who is interested in opening their own space and some of the mistakes that I made in opening Plentiful Hair Studio. Now, some of the things that I did right was, well, in my opinion, I knew that I wanted to be able to afford the space by myself. I didn't want to need anybody else to work with me in order to pay the bills. I have always had a very particular clientele, and I always wanted to be very mindful about who I worked with and, whoever I, was in business with, anybody that was in the salon. I always had to take that into consideration. So I knew that I wanted to find a space that I could afford by myself, and anybody that was an addition to Plentiful Hair Studio would be beneficial versus needing somebody there just to help me with the bills. I always had a particular clientele because I've always been pretty professional. I'm not perfect, but I've been professional. I've always had never late. I'm always on time. I've always had tried to have very decent customer service. I came from banking, so I always wanted to have decent customer service. So I always had a very particular clientele. So I always wanted to continue that, and I didn't want to compromise that in any way. Another thing, I didn't get any loans for. Me and my husband didn't get any loans for opening Plentiful Hair Studio. While I was at work, he worked full-time. I worked full-time at a salon. And in the spare time, my husband spent a lot of time with the build-out. And that was something that we paid for. We didn't get a loan or anything like that. So I don't have that debt. Those are the two things that I feel like that we did right. But some of the things that I felt like we did wrong. The mistake that I made was I was at a salon for 10 years and I went to work every day. I had a pretty consistent clientele. I went to work every day and I worked. And I pretty much depended on word of mouth to continue working. So the biggest mistake that I made when I went to Plentiful Hair Studio was I just pretty much just changed locations. I didn't market. I didn't change anything in the pricing. I didn't do anything in the beginning. I just pretty much I thought, in my opinion, I was adjusting to being in this new space, and I was just working. I pretty much scheduled appointments and showed up for work every day, and I didn't change anything from that. And in that instance, I did not own a business. I owned a job. I wasn't running it like a business. I pretty much owned a job. The decision to open your own space, you have to be very mindful. It is a big undertaking to take on. And you're going to have clients who come in the salon and tell you, girl, you need your own space. My friend Ray Vonica been doing hair for 30 minutes and she got her own salon. You cannot let that move you. That is no reason for you to take on the responsibility and the overhead of having your own space. So you really have to do it because that's what you wanted to do. Before I even finished cosmetology school, I knew that I wanted to be a hair loss hairstylist. I knew it. So I always knew that I had to eventually find a space that allowed privacy for those clients with sensitive issues. So that was always my end goal. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in opening a salon or studio is one of the things people tell you to do is to price your services based off everybody in the area. That is a big mistake. You cannot price your services similar to somebody who does not have your overhead. That is a conversation that people really don't want to have, but it is the truth, and I speak to you again with love from experience. That is what I did, and it was a dreadful mistake that I had to learn the hard way. You have to take into consideration your overhead. The next stylist in the neighborhood or they probably don't have your overhead, especially if they're renting a booth. They do not have your overhead. You cannot use that as your example. Just because you have high overhead, that does not mean you get to just raise your prices. You can't have $1 million sewing, and you literally have to raise the experience to make it worth the money. So it all makes sense. If you're going to have a higher overhead than the stylist in the area, then you have to provide more than what they're providing. It could be expertise, but that's normally not enough. It's going to have to be the ambiance. It's going to have to be the customer service. It's going to have to be the amenities. It's going to have to be something like that that will make your higher prices be warranted, besides just having a high overhead. You know, I know it's crazy, but that's just the way it is. You have to take into consideration your overhead, your products, everything. You have to write down all of that, and it has to make sense. My clients have privacy. Of course, we have the Wi-Fi, but I am never late. Always on time. I get you in and out. It's very comfortable. You know, I let my clients, they have, if they want, whatever they want to do during their appointment. You want to listen to music, you want to watch a movie, it's up to you. It's all about you. When you come in, you are the center of my attention in the salon. There's not a lot of waiting. There's none of that. I use high-end products. I continually educate myself. I don't go 6 weeks without taking a class, and it's been that way for the 18 years that I've been doing this. So you have to do more. You have to add more. And I take classes from any and everybody. I don't care. I'm going to learn something. To factor in how much you make now, don't. Because when you move into your new space, clients are going to leave you because of the change of location. They're going to leave you when you change your prices, because you have to change your prices. They're going to leave you because they don't want you to make too much money. They're going to leave you because they don't want to see change. They're going to come in the salon and tell you what they don't like about your space. They're going to come in the salon and tell you what you need to change. They're going to come into the salon and they're going to critique you and compare you to other hairstylists. They're going to compare you to Kim Campbell. They're going to compare you to everybody and their mama. You have to be ready for the loss of clients. So be ready. Get into your space. The first thing you need is policies, systems and processes, procedures, and stick by them. Don't let system bullies come and try to change your policies or make you not adhere to your policies. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is to create a policy and not stick by that policy. People that rule breakers don't like rules for a reason. So you have to stick by your policies. Don't let anybody come in the salon and tell you how to run your business. The overhead is on you. At the end of the day, it's all on you. And you have to go home at night and be comfortable with how you're running your business. So you have to create policies, stick by them, create rules and boundaries. Stand up for yourself. Create boundaries in this business. There's nothing wrong with jerk, though. Don't be a whole jerk. The business, in order for it to be successful, you have to center it around your clients. Not the hairstylist ego that we all have. It has to be around your clients. What do they need? What do they want? What's going to make them keep coming back to you? What's going to make them feel good? You know what I mean? And be open to feedback that's reasonable. If somebody come here, I don't like that picture. Okay. But if they're coming in like, you know what, you really have to do something about your payment processing, or you have to do something about how late you are every day, or you have to do something about it's cold in here. You have to pay attention to those types of things, and you have to make adjustments because you really want to up the experience for the client. You want it to be somewhere that they value you. You want to increase the value. You want them to spread the word about it. Take into consideration your overhead. It's not just right now as a booth renter, you just pay your booth rent. Depending on the place, you have to pay attention to if you're going to retail, the licenses you need for that. You're going to have to pay attention to utilities, insurance, of course your rent, all these other things that you have to really pay attention to. So you really have to factor that in to your pricing and always, pay attention to how much you do a business plan. A lot of us don't do business plans. You really have to do a business plan or something very, very similar to that. Have a plan for how you're going to run your business. Make sure you market. I spent a lot of time not marketing, and that was the dumbest thing that I could have done. Market and have a budget to do so. 1,000,000 classes, exaggeration, classes on people telling me what I needed to do in my business. And I kept paying for people to tell me to do XYZ. I already knew to do it, but I wasn't doing it. And I kept paying to take classes, people telling me how to, business classes, marketing classes, social media classes, and I would overthink it and I wasn't doing it. And what changed the salon for me was I was always afraid to post on social media because I was afraid of how that I was going to look stupid, that I was going to sound stupid, that my videos weren't going to be enough, that people weren't going to watch my videos. But work changed for me when I posted my a video of anything, any video I start, and I don't have a lot of followers on social media. I don't. And I don't get a lot of likes. And I don't get a lot of views. So that right there is a trap for people. People feel like I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have that. But every time I post, I get a client. You understand what I'm saying? Like you have to post. You have to do. When they say post, the experts, when they say post, when they say do XYZ, they're right. Just do it and just don't look and see. I post and I don't look and see who liked it. I don't look and see who commented. I just post. I still don't post enough, but social media is now your part-time job. Unfortunately, I built my whole clientele in the beginning of me being a hairstylist on Craigslist. Nobody goes to Craigslist anymore. Maybe serial killers, but nobody goes to Craigslist anymore. So now you have to find social media now. That's what you have to do, unfortunately, and it's part of your job now. So you have to post. You have to show up for your business. It is very, very hard. I spent so much time not charging enough because I was afraid that I wasn't good enough. I was afraid that I didn't do hair as good as everybody else. And I was afraid my clients were going to tell me that. I was afraid that I was just scared. And I wasn't doing it. And I spent so much time doing that. I spent so much time not charging what I was supposed to charge, being scared of charging, being scared that I wasn't good enough, that I began to resent my clients. Because work started being, I charged the same prices for 10 years. And work started being like, man, I'm not making the money that I want to make for the time. So when you start to work, the idea that we have to work 12-hour days or we're not good hairstylists is bullshit. It's not true. And if you think about it, it's not going to even out. How much money you brought home in your 12-hour day is not going to even out. You have to learn to work smarter, not harder. You can work hard, but work smarter. All that sacrificing in the beginning, yes, you have to sacrifice. That's normal. You have to sacrifice. But all that sacrificing all the time with your kids, and sacrificing time with your husband, and sacrificing time with your family, sacrificing time with yourself, that is dead. You have to charge accordingly. And if you have a $50 weave, you're gonna have a lot of clients. But you're going to have a lot of problems too. So you have to manage that too. So you don't want to get a business that's going to pimp you and have you no life, not enjoying yourself, not enjoying the fruits of your labor. And next you have Arthur and you can't do it no more and you didn't even enjoy your youth. So work smarter, not harder, charge right, add value. Don't be afraid. You deserve it. You deserve everything that you want. You deserve to be happy and have your business. You don't have to sacrifice. You deserve to make the money you want to make. I had a client say that she stopped going to her stylist when her stylist got a luxury vehicle. And she said, I'm not helping her finance this vehicle. And I thought that was crazy. I thought that was crazy. Like, what do you have to do? Are you there to get your hair done? Are you there to make sure that she doesn't have a luxury vehicle? And I also had a client tell me that, oh, I thought I was doing you a favor by coming to you, and little did I know you were stacking your money. See, at the end of the day, they're going to do what they want to do, and you're going to have clients that you love, and they're going to look out for you, and you're going to be close, but you're going to also have other types of clients too. So you can't please everybody. Start with yourself. Think of your expertise and where you are in this business, and decide how much you want to make an hour, and price yourself accordingly, and factor in your overhead. Be reasonable and charge what you're supposed to charge. Have balance in your life. Make your money. Market. Do good work. Make people happy. Make people feel good. Make you feel good. Spend time with your family. Take care of yourself. We can do it. It doesn't have to be the way everybody thinks it is. Make your own story and your own happy ending.